Living with an illness that others can't see can feel incredibly isolating. You wake up every day with pain, fatigue, or discomfort, but because your struggles aren't visible to those around you, it can feel like no one understands. People might say, "You don't look sick," or assume you're fine just because you aren't wearing a cast or using a wheelchair. But just because others can't see it doesn't mean your illness isn't real. You aren't alone in this, and being part of the Jurassic Mom family means we're here to support each other through the ups and downs. What are invisible illnesses? Invisible illnesses are medical conditions that don't have outward physical signs that others can easily notice. They affect millions of people every day, even though they might seem healthy on the outside. Some examples include fibromyalgia, a condition that causes widespread pain and fatigue, chronic migraines, severe headaches that can be disabling and often misunderstood, arthritis. Sometimes the pain and inflammation occur long before visible joint damage, lupus, an autoimmune disease that causes fatigue, joint pain, and other symptoms that aren't immediately visible, chronic fatigue syndrome. People with this condition feel exhausted all the time, no matter how much rest they get. The fact that these illnesses are invisible makes it harder for those who have them to get the understanding and support they need. You might feel like you're constantly explaining yourself, or worse, that others don't believe you. But remember, your pain and your experience are valid, even if they're invisible to others. Common struggles. Living with an invisible illness often comes with challenges that go beyond just the physical symptoms. The emotional and mental toll can be just as hard to cope with as the pain itself. Disbelief or dismissal. One of the most painful parts of having an invisible illness is when others don't believe your symptoms. They might say things like, "It's all in your head," or "You don't look sick." This can make you feel like you constantly need to prove that your pain is real, which is exhausting and disheartening. Even well-meaning friends and family members might downplay your struggles without realizing how hurtful it can be. Loneliness and isolation. When others can't see what you're going through, it's easy to feel like you're in this alone. You might cancel plans because you're too tired or in too much pain, and then feel guilty for letting people down. Over time, this can lead to isolation, where it feels easier to withdraw than to explain why you can't do certain things. Emotional toll. Invisible illnesses don't just affect your body, they take a huge emotional toll as well. The frustration of living with pain or fatigue that doesn't go away can wear you down. It's easy to feel like life is unfair or that you're missing out on things others can enjoy without a second thought. On top of that, there's often anxiety or depression that comes with chronic illness, making it even harder to cope. Fatigue and pain management. Another struggle is the constant battle with fatigue and pain. You might wake up feeling like you didn't sleep at all, even after 8 hours in bed. Your body is tired, but your mind is too, and getting through the day can feel like climbing a mountain. Managing your energy becomes a daily balancing act, trying to get things done without overdoing it and crashing later. The importance of validation. It's important to remember that just because your illness is invisible doesn't mean it's not real. Your pain, fatigue, and struggles are valid. It's okay to need rest, and it's okay to say no when something feels too much. Part of coping with an invisible illness is learning to validate your own experience, even if others don't understand. Give yourself grace. You don't have to prove your illness to anyone. You know what you're feeling, and that's what matters most. Give yourself grace on the hard days, and recognize that it's okay to have limits. If others can't see or understand those limits, that doesn't make them any less real. The power of community. This is why it's so important to connect with others who truly understand what you're going through. When you find a community of people who get it, like our Jurassic Mom family, you realize that you're not alone. There are others who know what it feels like to be dismissed or misunderstood, and we're here to lift each other up. Together, we can validate each other's experiences and find strength in our shared stories. One of the hardest parts about living with an invisible illness is the sense of loneliness that often comes with it. But at Jurassic Mom, we're building a community where you can feel seen, heard, and supported. No one should have to go through this alone, and being part of a group that understands can make all the difference. Sharing your story can be a powerful way to connect with others. Whether it's talking about the challenges you face, the small victories you achieve, or just venting about a hard day, letting others in helps to break the isolation. You might be surprised to learn that others feel the same way you do, even if they don't have the same illness. At Jurassic Mom, we encourage you to share your story, whether it's through comments, social media, or even just talking with a friend. You are not alone, and your experience matters. Just as important as sharing your own story is listening to the stories of others. We all need to feel like someone understands us, and by listening, we can offer support and validation. Whether it's offering a kind word or simply saying, "I get it," showing up for each other is what makes this community special. While building a supportive community is important, there are also practical steps you can take to manage the day-to-day challenges of living with an invisible illness. One of the hardest parts of living with an invisible illness is helping others understand what you're going through. It can be tough to explain that even though you might look fine, you're struggling with pain, fatigue, or other symptoms. Here are a few tips for talking to loved ones. Be honest. It's okay to tell people that you're not feeling well, even if you look fine. Be clear about what you're experiencing and what you need from them. Educate them. Sometimes people just don't understand because they don't know enough about your illness. Providing them with resources or talking openly about your symptoms can help bridge that gap. Set boundaries. It's okay to say no to things that feel too overwhelming. Setting boundaries can help protect your energy and prevent burnout. Taking care of yourself is essential when you're living with an invisible illness. Here are a few self-care tips to help you manage rest. Give yourself permission to rest when you need it. Your body is working hard, even if others can't see it. Pacing. Instead of trying to push through pain or fatigue, pace yourself. Break tasks into smaller steps and take breaks as needed. Mindfulness. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or journaling can help manage stress and keep your mind centered, even on difficult days. Don't forget about your mental health. Living with chronic pain or fatigue can take a toll on your emotions, so it's important to seek support when you need it. Therapy, support groups, or even talking with a trusted friend can help you process the emotional challenges of living with an invisible illness. Living with an invisible illness is undeniably hard, but it also reveals your incredible strength. Every day you get up and face the world, even when it feels impossible. That's something to be proud of. Your strength might not always be visible to others, but that doesn't make it any less real. Every small victory, whether it's getting out of bed, going to work, or simply taking care of yourself, is a testament to your resilience. Don't underestimate the power of those small wins. Celebrate them and recognize the strength it takes to keep going. If you're living with an invisible illness, know that you're not alone. Here at Jurassic Mom, we understand the unique challenges you face, and we're here to support you. Join our community, share your story, and let's walk this journey together.